Did City just throw away this league title and gift it to Arsenal after that 3-3 draw against Everton? I have no idea. It feels like it. It feels like it. I'm going to be completely honest. This draw feels like such a loss to me. I am so gutted right now. Like, it literally feels like we got disintegrated 5-0 or something with the way that I'm feeling, the way that I'm coming out of watching that match. I have no idea what to even like say. I am so appalled by what I've just seen. How on earth can we go in complete control of that match in the first half 1-0 when, if I'm being completely honest, I feel like it could have been 2-0, maybe 3-0 come the end of the first half. Maybe 3-0. I'll give 2. Okay, I'll say 2. 2-0 by the end of that first half, to then having to fight back from 3-1 down to just get basically the last kick of the game 3-3. I have no idea. And this is something that I have been critiquing of City for the past 2 seasons now, is that we are so easy to break down and we are so easy to get figured out from, right? Like, teams can easily figure out what City are trying to do, what they are doing, and they could just respond to that and make City completely like capitulate at it. You know, all the team needs to do is just press up a little higher, be just a little bit more assertive and aggressive, and ask a few questions of the City defense, the City midfield, and we completely fold. And we've seen that time and time again for the past 2 seasons now. This season in particular, like, we've been struggling with playing out from the back. We've been struggling in midfield. Obviously, you know, Rodri's been injured. Nico's had to fill in a lot and whatnot. So, like, whatever. Okay, we got new players in this season, so it's kind of like, that's fine, right? But to be completely dominant in that first half, and Everton's not having, like, not even a sniff on goal, right? We're coming into the second half with a 1-0 advantage. Obviously, you know, if you're Everton, you're going to want to, you know, you don't want to lose the match. You're going to be just a little bit more assertive. And we just completely fold to that. You know, we conceded chances. We created our own mistakes. We let Everton back into the game. Why? I don't understand. And it's really frustrating because this is not the time to make any foolish mistakes and just gift away. Not gift away, but it's not the time to be dropping points, especially when you have to win out the rest of the season and outscore Arsenal in the process in order to lift the Premier League title once again, to get the league title back in our hands. Right now, we're at a point where we have to rely on someone else to do something to Arsenal for us to be given a lifeline, basically. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that's not a position you would want your team to be in, right? You want everything in your hands, right? You don't want to rely on someone else to get the job done for you, especially when you look at the remaining fixtures for Arsenal in the league and you see how, I don't want to say easy, but it's definitely not as difficult as City's next or remaining fixtures in the league are, especially since we have a game in hand as well. So it's going to kind of be crammed into a schedule that's already pretty tight to begin with. Yes, Arsenal have the Champions League as well, but you know, they play tomorrow and then, you know, they're off until Sunday. They don't play again until Sunday, so they got a good amount of rest there. And then they won't even have to worry about, you know, if they advance to the final, they don't even have to worry about that till after the season's done. So, plus we also have the FA Cup against Chelsea as well. So, it's not the time to be fumbling the way that we fumbled today. And it could have been worse. It could have been way worse. Because in that second half, Donnarumma saved us at least two times. He came up with two huge saves in the second half. One big save in the first half with you know the one chance that Everton did have in the first half, whatever. Donnarumma saved us. It could have been way worse, and we also could have lost that match as well after we capitulated. Thank you, Jeremy Doku, for scoring two absolute worldies to get us a result today. And then even when we went 3-1 down and we immediately scored to make it 3-2 right after kickoff, that pissed me off even more. Because it's like, where was that energy at the entire match? Right? Like, where was any of that stuff at the entire match? Why do you have to wait till you have to actually, like, crawl tooth and nail and really grind out a result? You have to fight for your life to get a result. Why are you waiting till then to switch it on? You know what I mean? But whatever. Look, I knew that this game was going to be difficult because coming into it, Everton did have, like the third best defensive record in the league coming into this game, right? Erling Haaland has had a very difficult second half of the season in terms of scoring the goals. You know, he was on a pretty big goal drought up until recently. Like, Jeremy Doku, although he scored two today, he's now on 4 league goals for the season. Marmoush is hardly playing. Cherky, yes, he's involved a lot when it comes to contributing for goals, but it's not consistent enough. Phil Foden has fallen off so high from what is the standard and what we are expecting of him. It's just not good enough. It hasn't been good enough at all this second half of the season. Semenyo has kind of dipped a little bit. He's he started off on a huge high and he's kind of plateaued just a bit. You know, I'm not going to get too hard on him because he has been a massive help and an improvement on the squad since he's joined. But altogether from the squad as a whole, it just has not been good enough. You know, the fact that we're even in the title race right now is insane because I was not expecting it. I don't think that the squad is good enough to be in a title race. I didn't predict that we would even finish in second place. I thought the City would get like fourth place this season before the season even started, right? So I don't know. Look, you look at Arsenal's remaining fixtures. They got West Ham, Burnley, and then Crystal Palace to close out the Premier League season. Out of those 3 fixtures, right, for them, I want to say, I honestly think that West Ham is going to be their toughest opponent. And if Arsenal are going to drop points and they're going to fumble in some way, I do think that it's going to come at West Ham's expense, or it's going to come at the hands of West Ham, because West Ham are currently fighting for their lives right now to stay in the league. They're also a London club. I'm sure that they do not want Arsenal to get their hands on a Premier League title. Right, not that West Ham is close to even winning a Premier League title in the near future anyway, but, you know, just, I guess, like that London rivalry, local rivalry aspect of it, that kind of plays a factor for them. But more so that they're fighting for their lives and trying to avoid relegation right now. You know what I mean? So if anyone's going to give them the biggest chance of dropping points, I think it's going to be West Ham. Crystal Palace, I don't really have much hope for them, especially since they're in a European semifinal right now. They are barely holding on as is with their squad since, you know, they don't have much squad depth to begin with. So those players are completely exhausted and burnt the hell out, I would assume. So I would assume that they would just want to put all of their eggs into the European basket, right? So, yeah, we have to look to West Ham now. We have to look to West Ham. But in terms of today's performance, I just don't think it was good enough. It was extremely appalling. City did play a really good first half. I didn't really see much of a difference in the second half, to be honest, like tactically speaking, right? I didn't think that we were extremely like bad or like god awful. It was just us shooting ourselves in the foot being the architects of our own demise at the end of the day. I mean, for God's sake, City had 21 shots the entire match, and only 4 of those were on target. That is not good enough. That is not good enough, especially when if you're trying to win out the rest of the season and goal difference is going to be the main factor that ends up deciding the league come the end of it, you need to be scoring these goals. You need to be taking your chances. You have to be finishing your chances when they come. And City they just weren't able to do that today. So, yeah, it's a draw that feels like a complete loss. It's kind of hard to feel a little bit optimistic about how the rest of the season is going to go in terms of the league and keeping up with Arsenal. But yeah, I mean, that's just the reality of it now. Obviously, you got to be hopeful. Anything can happen. You never know. At the end of the day, Arsenal may actually slip up somehow, some way. You never really know. But the fact that we have to rely on another team to do that is the more upsetting part and the frustrating part. But if it's going to happen, I think that it'll be at the hands of West Ham. So we'll see. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one to take. Anything really can happen. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We'll wait and see. We'll see on Sunday. Hopefully City can get the job done against Brentford on Saturday. That's going to be a tough match. But, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with my... Most likely I'll be back tomorrow with my reaction to Arsenal Atletico Madrid. So I'll see you guys then. Take it easy. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the notification bell as well. Take it easy, y'all.